Yeah, I think that there's truth in what everyone is finding here. There's certainly societal changes, behavioral changes, chemical changes. So all of these things are true. We're seeing that in the papers and in the science. The one thing I think that's missing from this conversation is the impact that the brain has with the ovarian system. So there's one researcher here in California at the Buck Institute, Jennifer Garrison, who is really the first scientist to understand how the central nervous system impacts ovarian function. And while hormones are really great in signaling to the brain as to what is being experienced environmentally, there's other elements about the central nervous system that we just don't understand yet. For example, the power of belief. We keep seeing that come up, that women were making lifestyle changes. They were feeling really optimistic about the world, their environment, their personal experience. And they were able to conceive after many years of unsuccessful attempts. We just don't have the science as to why this happens. We have lots of empirical evidence. In fact, most medical practitioners, they tell women who are having difficulty with fertility to relax. That's the most common response from doctors today, just relax. And it's infuriating because the reason why we're still here is because we just have not invested in the science properly. We really are just missing fundamental research. And so one of our goals right now is to really go deep into the science. We're not really focusing on venture at the moment, although I will say there are lots of femtech ventures here coming out of the Valley. Venture capitalists see it as a huge market and a huge opportunity, and they're pretty much scouring the entrepreneurial community for these opportunities, but we just don't have the science figured out. And so $20 million is what we've put in the last 3 years. And it's tiny compared to what other areas of science are receiving. The NIH finally granted its first set of funds dedicated specifically to reproductive aging. This has never happened before. So, I mean, the reason why we're struggling right now is because we have not properly invested. And I want to bring some optimism to the conversation that the more we invest, the more we will know, the more diagnostic tools we'll have. We really don't have diagnostic tools right now. We have 2 blood tests and a ultrasound screening of follicular count, but that is so rudimentary. That does not tell us very much at all. And so the medical advice we're giving to women is it's truly low quality right now.
Okay.
If I could just support Nicole, I just want to say, to remind people that until a few years ago, most research was done on men. In fact, there was a mandate that came out from NIH saying you had to include women in your research and females in your research. In the laboratory, the female pup was thrown away because women were considered too complicated hormonally to study. And, they just made things more difficult.